Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Claire and for this week's video I'm going to be doing 3 autumn units. This is a triplex and this is kind of loosely based off of something I saw in real life with these like windows, and so we are going to be starting off in our first unit. I kind of skip around a little bit because this is a longer video, so buckle in. So for this first unit, and I guess all the units, they are 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. There is 1 bathroom on the main level or the entry level, and then there are 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms on the second level of each apartment or each unit. So we are starting off in the kitchen. I wanted to make the kitchen especially just like different from each unit. I wanted to keep like the same tile and countertops just to kind of have that consistency, but I didn't want to use the same colors in each apartment, especially when it came to furniture. I did try to keep the like main walls the same color because I was trying to think of like how d- builders just kind of put like the base grade in each apartment or each house that they do, and then it's like up to the homeowners to decide if they want to change the colors. And I really liked how the wall color in each of these units kind of was like creamy, warmth, cozy type of feel. And so we are now just going to be adding some decoration into the kitchen. Most of these items are from the Home Chef Hustle kit, or it's not kit, it's the pack, and it just kind of it's one of the newer packs, which I really enjoy that they're doing packs again and not just kits, although I did just get the storybook nursery kit. And if you want to see a room I did with that, you can check out my Instagram. It should just be kind of recently that I posted it, a little pink princess bedroom. So we are in the dining room, and I did change this room slightly. I didn't playtest this house when I was building, and so I didn't realize that your Sim's gonna get through the back door. So it's pretty much all the same, just a smaller table. So we are just going to be adding a little wall, so in the sink there can be a little bit of a splash guard with the water. I know that doesn't really matter, especially not in The Sims, but I try to keep my builds as realistic as I can, but also easy to play in. That's why I don't always add laundry machines into my build. It's because I know it's not really everybody's favorite thing to play with. So we are just going to be adding a little side table in the living room. I designed this specific unit for one set of parents and a toddler. My original plan was to have a toddler, child, and infant in each house, but the last unit ends up being for a teen. I wanted to have it very diverse, especially with the second bedroom of like who would live here and like the situation of each family in each unit. And so I feel like having a different age for the third family member or the second bedroom would be a good choice just to help me design a space for different family situations. And so we're just going to be adding a rug by the computer, and I actually just duplicate the rug from the living room. I kind of liked how the swirls were kind of like opposite of each other, and it just kind of helped tie in these two somewhat separate spaces. All 3 of these units do have open concept floor plans, and so it was kind of like hard to like designate a specific space for a specific need, but also still like have it tie in to the house with the adjacent rooms. So we are going to be on the front porch real quick. I know I probably should have started with the front porch. I was just so excited to get into the inside. So we are going to be adding little pumpkins throughout the little walkway, and I do add more. I just kind of felt it was repetitive, and so I cut it out. So now we are on the second level, and we're going to be starting in the first bedroom, which I designed for a toddler. And I didn't like fully have in mind if this would be the unit with for the toddler, or if the next unit would be for the toddler, but I decided that this unit would be for the toddler. So we do go back downstairs to add a high chair for the toddler. And I feel like out of all six of these rooms in all the units, that this little room for the toddler is my favorite. I said the colors work really well with one another, and it kind of just coordinates with the wallpaper and the curtains. Kind of just makes you feel like you're outside, but like don't have to be outside. So we're just going to be adding a little chair and a bookshelf. I know your Sims can't like sit with each other. Well, they can't like sit on each other, but I thought it'd be really cute if like the parents like sat and the toddler like sat together on that chair to read a story together. So we are just going to be adding some decals. I didn't really add too many like pictures because I feel like it just made more sense to have these little cloud pictures, and I was trying to be limited with my pack use, and so I feel like just adding these pictures was very simple and it really did improve the room. So now we are in the bathroom that the toddler would be using. So this is just a very simple bathroom, and we are just going to be adding all of the things. I did try to make each bathroom slightly different. I don't show all the bathrooms because it did feel kind of repetitive when I was editing. It's like, oh, this is bathrooms in the same spot as the last bathroom, and it's different, but it's pretty much the same. So we are just going to be adding some bedding, some side tables. I tried to keep this room very consistent with the season furniture, and you'll see in like the other two units that I did try to keep like the bedroom sets pretty matching with the pack that it came in. So we are just going to be adding a television and going to be adding some plants. I do add this cool living wall that came with seasons over here by the bathroom, and it just kind of brought some more life into this space. So we are going to be adding a rug, just kind of doing a little bit of rearranging, but the house is pretty much finished. We are going to go into the backyard real quick, and we're just going to be adding some things onto the dresser, like some shirts and some perfume, but I couldn't find the perfume, so I just kind of left it. And then if you stay tuned for the screenshots, you'll see that I do eventually find the perfume bottles. But we are now outside, and I wanted to make sure that there was like a dining space out here. I was imagining that this would be a young family that would be in this space, but they love cooking, so I had some garden beds in this house, or in this unit, and a slide for their toddler, because the slide, in my opinion, and I think some other people's opinions, is the best way to get your toddler Sims movement up. So we are just going to be adding some items from the the toddler stuff pack, and I haven't used a lot of these items because I kind of forgotten about this pack, and I do try to be very specific with my packs because I know packs cost money, and so I try to be careful with the amount of packs I use per build. So we are now in the second unit. We're going to be starting off in the front yard area. And I wanted this area to have a lot of items from the For Rent pack, and I wanted to use the For Rent pack specifically so your Sims can have like individual units. And for the mailbox feature, it has like 3 different mailbox slots, but it's like all in like one unit. And in my opinion, that's just really realistic because that's like what I have, and I think kind of more modern neighborhoods have. So we are going to be starting off in the kitchen, and I used a slightly darker wallpaper for this unit because it matched pretty well with the tile in the kitchen. And this is pretty much the same layout as the first unit. I wanted to keep it pretty consistent with like the floor plan because I feel like that I haven't really been in too many townhouses, but I felt like it would be kind of cookie cutter like this. So we are going to be adding some furniture from the Growing Together pack, and just now going to be adding a little like office area over here on the corner. This unit has a 2 by 2 bathroom, whereas the first unit had a 1 by 3 bathroom. So we are just going to be adding some upper shelving. I tried to keep the tile or the kitchen to match the tile, and I just kind of has some consistency, some matchingness to it. So we are just going to be working on this little office space area, and this unit is like one tile like shorter, like side to side wise as the other two. And that is because I wanted to just give a little bit of space, make sure the units on side to side had like the same amount of distance from the end of the lot. So we are just going to be adding some different like cookbooks. I did try to use a lot of items from the Home Chef Hustle, especially in this unit and in the neighboring unit or the last unit. So we are just going to be adding a little entryway area. And I feel like having these different shoe items just kind of helped make it feel like a mudroom type of area. And maybe one of these Sims is a neat freak or just neat Sim, and so they want to have their guests take off their shoes every time or whenever they enter the house. So we are just going to be going into the dining room, and I used this table mostly because it came with the for rent pack, and I feel like having this rug kind of like made it feel like it was a carpeted space, even though it is not. So we are just going to be adding a little salt and pepper onto the table. And I realize now that I am covering basically my only window in this unit on this first floor, and so we are just going to be adding a little art piece, and now we are in to the backyard. And so I have some hopscotch, we have a marbles game, and a monkey bars, and I just wanted this space to be really like a kid zone. I was imagining, or I did design this house for a child for the second bedroom, and so we are just going to be adding a little picnic table and a grill. I really like how the backyard turned out. It just seemed like a fun space for the kid to bring some school friends home to play with. So we are just going to be adding a bed. I wanted to maximize on space in this room, so I have the desk and the bed, and I'm using this bed specifically because it matches the wallpaper. There's kind of a like subtle theme of dinosaurs going on in this room, so we are just going to be adding a little bike on to the front area and going to be adding some craft supplies on to the desk and going to be adding a dresser. Even though these are like kids' rooms, I wanted to still kind of keep them with that like neutral type of wallpaper that is in like the majority of this house. It just kind of seemed fitting. Like it didn't like go boom crazy out the. It just kind of flows well with the rest of these color schemes. So we are just going to be adding a little dinosaur like stuffed animal, and your Sims can interact with it, and I think that feature is super cute. So we are just going to be adding some wall decorations and trying to make this space feel very loved and used and lived in. So we're just going to be finishing up this space with some book posters and going to be adding some items onto the desk and going to just kind of be finishing up the space. I feel like this is like my second favorite room out of all 6 of these rooms. So we are going to be in the bathroom because this home doesn't have a toddler. I decided to go for a shower instead of a tub for the second bathroom. It's a very simple bathroom. I feel like that just kind of made sense. It worked for what we had, or the space I had designed for. So we are just going to be going and adding just some bathroom essentials. I didn't want to use too many items twice, but luckily there are similar items. So I used a small base game kind of like toilet paper holder in another build, and so instead of using that exact same toilet paper holder, I decided to use this one from Seasons, and it doesn't hold toilet paper, it also holds like towels and extra bathroom items like that. So we are now in the master bedroom, or the primary bedroom, I should say, and I designed this area with mostly items from the For Rent pack, and I really liked how this room turned out. I feel like the colors really flow well with the wall color or the wall treatment, and so we are just going to be adding a few more items from the For Rent pack, and the For Rent pack kind of has like a Asian inspired feel. I have actually never built a house on in this world. It did come with a world, and I've never built a house on that. I've been a little bit intimidated to make it really accurate to the to the Asian culture. So we are now just going to be going into the primary suite. This is just a very simple copycat type of room, and I do make the window just a little bit smaller. I feel like after I place these items down, I'm like, that's kind of a big window to have in this tiny space. There's not much privacy, even though they're on the middle. There's not like any side windows. It just looked better, in my opinion, to have this smaller window, and then I could add a towel holder underneath. So we are now in the third unit, or the final unit. So we are going to be designing this space for a family of 3, like the last units, except for this unit has a teenager living in the home, and I was imagining that one of the parents would be a chef, and so this house does have a slightly bigger kitchen, so we are going to be using these yellow cabinets because they matched well with the yellow tile. And I wanted to make this space just kind of fun for the Sims to work in. So we are going to be adding some upper cabinetry and going to be adding an island. This is the only unit that has an island, and I really liked how the space turned out, just having like an extra tile wider. It felt like there was a lot more space in this house. So you can see that we're kind of doing the duplicated rugs again just to make it more consistent with each space to space. And so we are just going to be adding a lot more items onto the counters because there is a lot more space and because this is designed for a home chef to hustle. So we are going to be adding a lot of different items, and I really wanted to have a large dining room table in this space, so we do end up going with this one from the Growing Together. The table and the chairs are from this pack, and I really liked how it just felt very warm and welcoming. So we are going to be adding some like different like kitchen hutches, and I'm going to be adding a mirror above the kitchen hutch just to kind of help bring in some light into this space. And I really liked how this area turned out. This house unit is a little bit bigger, so I had space to move the little office area onto, I moved it into a little nook on the second level. So we are going to be just simply decorating this unit or this bookshelf, and this is very simple kind of thing. I didn't want to do too much to it. I was trying to keep this area pretty simple. So we are just going to go back into the kitchen to add some final details as well as adding some things onto the little hutch for in the dining room. Really wanted this kitchen to feel really loved and worked in, so there's a lot of space and items on the counters, but luckily there's an island, so your Sims can still cook together if you want. So we are just going to be adding some curtains and going to be adding just a few more things into this living room, dining room, just kind of finishing up this space. So we are going to be changing just a few colors and going to be adding this same little coat rack from the first unit and just kind of finishing up this space. Just going to be trying to find a little art piece or something to put in between the TV and the little shoe area coat rack. So we are going to be finishing up this main level of the house. Just gonna be adding a backpack because I imagine this teen would kind of need that to go to school. So we are going to be in the backyard of this unit now. And I tried to keep all three of these backyards kind of unique and different because this is like obviously what you can like see from unit to unit. And so in this unit, I just had to add a hot tub because there is a teen living in this house. They don't really need to have any like jungle gym equipment or slides. So I thought adding a hot tub, and this is the hot tub that came with the base game, or it comes with the base game, and I did want to have a little gardening space for your Sims because I was imagining that there would be a home chef in this house. So we are just going to be now going upstairs, and I this is where I make a little like office nook area, and I do eventually like make it one tile bigger into the primary bedroom, and but for now we are just going to be adding a few items in here, just kind of making it work. I kind of realized that it would look better if the bedroom didn't have that bump out, or like if this area, the landing area, was a little bit bigger, and it was also easier to design for the primary bedroom. So we are going to be just kind of adding some different office material. And now we are going into the teen's room. I gave this teen just kind of like a slight interest in music. I didn't want to overly decorate this space because I knew that your students might not be into music, or they might you might have another interest in mind for them. So we are just going to be kind of planning this room out using these base game items. I didn't really want to use the high school years pack, but I did also want these areas to feel different, so I did use the high school years in this room and throughout this unit, but you can still see that I'm kind of working with these base game items. It did help me decide like quickly like what to put where when I switched everything over to the high school years items, like these posters. I'm like, okay, I still like the posters here, but let's just kind of make them more into a musical theme. And so we are just going to be getting rid of the base game ones and adding some posters from high school years. I feel like the high school years posters and wall decorations do have a large variety of different styles, and that is always good to have. And so we are just going to be finding one more poster and just kind of like now figuring out how I want it to be placed. And the final thing in this room will be a rug. And now we are going to the bathroom. I do kind of cut out this bathroom because I wanted to redesign it once I moved that wall that leads into the primary bedroom. So speaking of the primary bedroom, that is where we are currently, and I'm going to be using another bed from the high school years pack, and it was kind of hard to decide which style or which like print on the bedding I should use. And this is the last room I will be showing you, so leave a comment down below which room you or your Sims would want to live in if you download this lot. All the information will be down in the description. So if you're interested in playing in this house, you can check down there for all of that info. We are just going to be rearranging this bathroom so it is functional and your Sims can be accessible and you don't have to change anything. So we are getting close to the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also leave a comment down below of which unit was your favorite. So we are just going to be finishing up this house. Is going to be adding a little chair and going to be adding some artwork onto the walls. If you enjoyed watching this video, I post new videos every single Tuesday, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!